We got London on the track.
Yo, what's up guys? Diamond here. We're back with a brand new video, and today I wanted to talk about a cool idea I had in my mind on changing the detonator to benefit the pyro, into making it a whole, functional class. We've had problems with pyro where he's actually kind of functionally broken, and he's in an awkward place where he doesn't have enough DPM or mobility, but he's considered to be a offensive class. So that's what we're gonna target, and I believe that changing the detonator would be a great way to do that. So I threw in some clips here, just to keep the flow of the video nice. But I'm gonna give you a warning that I'm not a pyro main and that some of my plays might be pretty embarrassing. But anyways, let's get right down to what the detonator currently does. So it does 100% mini crits versus burning players. It does a 25% damage penalty, and it does a 50% damage to self. It has an alt fire that could detonate the flare, and it has a passive reload. So, Valve has been, on the topic of, Pyro being supposed, sorry, on the topic of, making Pyro an offensive class, but he lacks DPM and mobility. Valve has been trying to give him some sort of gimmicks to compensate for his, fragging disability. So, I've seen people like Truck and Banny talk about this before. They express the same feelings, and the gimmicks that they're talking about are all just within his, silly weapon designs. And, I'll give you some examples, pretty much like Phlogistonator, Reserve Shooter, Flare Gun, Scorch Shot, Man Melter. What do these guys have in common? Well, they all reward you for crits and for no reason at all, essentially. And that's super gimmicky, right? You're just getting crits for doing something that isn't too hard, and and that's just like it's not fun. It's an unthoughtful way to design a weapon, and it's a shitty way to try to up his DPM. It's like super gimmicky. And this is also, a really broken way to do so because crits have no damage fall off and they take less skill to hit than, a normal shot, right? Because, you still have to aim, but the crit you can let's say a weapon has damage spread, you can miss, but you can still do more damage than you would have done if you, let's say, shot him directly, without a crit. So that's kind of what I was trying to say here. It's also gimmicky to have a weapon like the power jack. It grants you mobility, but since it's a melee weapon and its primary use is utility, I would have to say, I don't know. Like, usually that's what melee weapons are used for, but I would say that the Power Jack is way too good of a melee weapon because it literally gives you so much movement speed. It's kind of like the same problem I have with the Gru, but I'm gonna save that for another video. So, let's get down to what I propose for the rework. I kind of propose that the Detonator gets a rework to, give it some sort of like a gunboats for soldier, give it some sort of more mobility, but in a less gimmicky way. That's kind of what I've been going for this whole time is, to remove these stupid gimmicks. And what I changed to it is, it's not that complicated. Here's what I changed. So I'd still keep the 25% damage penalty, but we're gonna have 100% larger clip size. So what that means is we're gonna have two flares instead of one in a magazine, and that is probably the biggest change. And I'm gonna talk about that. But these with the two flare clip size, we're gonna have no passive reload, and we're gonna have no afterburn on flare shots, and no mini crits on flare shots. And the alt fire still stays the same, detonate flare. And in case you guys were wondering, I think each self det does somewhere around 23 to 44 damage. I've tried it out myself. I think I do on average like 35 to 38 damage, but I guess it depends on your trajectory, right? But you can see what I did here is just I made a weapon that rewards you with mobility at the cost of skill. So unlike the power jack, which literally gives you movement speed for effectively no downsides, because you pull it out when you don't need it and you avoid the downsides. The detonator is more useful than before because it requires you to do what is essentially rocket jumping around the map. Overall, I think this change of the detonator gives Pyro more mobility in a non-gimmicky way, which is huge. Now, there's probably going to be some flaws here that I haven't seen, but this is just a general idea. So, it's just a theory, and I can't play test this. So, you gotta take in the fact that also this rework is what I'm imagining as like, Pyro's already a perfectly functional class, which means, his air blast isn't fucking broken. His flamethrower doesn't lag or like, mojo or whatever it's called. I think that's what it's called. Some sort of like flamethrower lag, and his air blast doesn't shoot a rocket backwards, and his cone for air blasting is okay, and all that other stuff. We're assuming that he's perfect, and that kind of stuff wouldn't get in the way. So yeah, that's all I got for today. Just the best way to connect is to just click on that subscribe button, follow me on Twitch, and follow me on Steam, so you never miss anything I do. But I'd love to know what you guys think about this rework, so just let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know in the comments if I should make this item rework thing a series on the channel. And yep, see you guys. I'll see you in 3 days. Peace out.